CC Sabathia, Ichiro, Billy Wagner go into the Hall of Fame. I love when they get up and they tell the stories. And CC Sabathia, with what he did, like those are quiet numbers for over 250 wins and 3,000 strikeouts. Now, I think he's one of maybe 3 left-handers in history who have that. I know that Steve Carlton, is Warren Spahn the other left-hander who had over 250 wins and 3,000 strikeouts? But CC Sabathia in pretty rarefied air. And one thing that maybe he doesn't get enough credit for was being a guy who unified the locker room with the Yankees. Because you had A-Rod and Jeter and that friction, and CC Sabathia, that was part of his job. We need you to be a leader in there and make sure this doesn't go south. Because Jeter didn't like A-Rod, and there was some obviously bad blood there. But to keep them, he was a unifier. And, that you go back and watch the beginning stages of that dynasty, and CC Sabathia played a large role. I also look at what he did with the Brewers. It felt like he went on 3 days rest for 2 months with the Brewers. They knew they weren't going to be able to keep him, and Sabathia was just a workhorse. And to put up those numbers, to do it in a big city, to do it on a big stage, really impressive. But I think his role as a leader is probably overlooked. I mean, it's a tricky thing when somebody's saying a leader. What is that? What makes you a leader? A lot of times your leader is not your marquee guy. Like Jeter wasn't a leader. Jeter just played every day and played really well. Kevin Millar with the Red Sox was probably more of a leader than Big Papi or Manny Ramirez or Schilling. You need that guy who understands how to read a room and a guy who can talk to everybody from the 25th guy to the top guy. And I think CC Sabathia did a wonderful job with that. But to see him go into the Hall of Fame, it was great. Ichiro to go into the Hall of Fame. Ichiro had 262 hits one season. There will probably be guys, 3 or 4 guys in the starting lineup who won't have that many hits during the entire season combined. But back then, we cared about batting average, getting on base. He could steal bases. He had an unbelievable arm. Came over, Rookie of the Year, MVP same season. But he was in Seattle. So they had a couple of moments where they had great teams, but, he didn't get that big stage that, we tend to appreciate and look for. Billy Wagner, that's where you have to look at the numbers sometimes. And you have to look at listen to what other players say about. And Billy Wagner, that's one of those where you got a left-handed closer who is, throwing at a really, really high speed. And it just didn't feel like you had, left-handers are always crafty. You never have a crafty right-hander, except for Greg Maddux. But he wasn't a crafty left-hander. He just came in, and he was going to bring some noise. Yes, Marvin?
Dave Parker and Dick Allen also got in, voted by the Veterans Committee.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Dave Parker, when he came to the plate, that's where, you better protect yourself if you're going to have children in your future. And Dick Allen's bat, I think, was as heavy as any bat that's ever been used in baseball history. Like, he got to the plate, and it was just, I thought he was going to be even better than what he was. But I remember the fans would boo him, and he wore a batting helmet at third base. And I remember he wrote the letters BOO in the dirt at third base, and I think it was a home game. And, he'd smoke heaters in the dugout. He was just, Dick Allen was a bad dude, man. I don't think anybody messed with Dick Allen. Yeah, Paul.
There's a Sports Illustrated cover. You could find it online. It's Dick Allen juggling baseballs in the clubhouse with a heater. Yeah,
he's in the dugout, and he's got a cigarette. Sun is shining. They got the red striped uniforms. He had the red batting helmet, and Dick Allen, he was a thing. Paul Skenes, by the way, struck out 9, scattered 3 hits. when do you not scatter? Like, how many is too many to scatter? Or is it if you throw a shutout, you can scatter 11 hits? But 3 hits over 6 innings, so he's scattered. And here you go. His ERA is 1.83. So his career ERA is 1.89. In the history of Major League Baseball, you have to go back to 1913 to have somebody have an ERA under 2 through his first 45 starts.
Woo! Ow! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! This is the stat of the day!
Paul Skenes has allowed 1 run or less in 14 of his 22 starts this season. Last year, he allowed 1 run or less in 14 starts. So 28 starts, he's allowed 1 run or less in his career. So 28 of 45 starts, he's allowed 1 run or less. Mike Trout getting closer. Let's see. He's got 397 home runs. And the big dumper homered. Cal Raleigh's got 41. And he surpassed Mickey Mantle for the most home runs by a switch hitter before the month of August. So just some of the baseball there. But Ichiro he had some fun up there, showed some personality as well. All right, Paulie, your best and worst of the weekend.
My best and worst of the weekend is the same person. Mike Trout of the Angels got a 2-run home run. He is now over 1,000 RBI for his career, but it also highlights the fact that his career is going to be really hard to quantify and talk about in years because of the lack of postseason. The last time Mike Trout was in the postseason was 2014. Doesn't feel any closer. He's still a nice player, but we've seen his best work. And just kind of his career sometimes bums me out. He did fantastic, made a lot of money, just bums me out a little bit.
Fritz, you just sent me a note. Warren Spahn had 363 wins, but did not have 3,000 strikeouts. Who is the other left-hander who had at least 3,000 strikeouts and at least 250 wins? Lefty Grove? Trying to think. Maybe somebody so obvious. And Sandy Koufax did not have 250 wins. Well, we'll see if we'll get some of our best people on that. Yes, Todd.
I'm looking at Steve Carlton, Randy Johnson, and CeCe are the ones that pop up.
I'm missing. See, Randy Johnson. Maybe I didn't think Unit had. He did have over 250 wins.
303 wins for Randy
Yes.
Johnson, 329 for Carlton.
Yeah, all right. Got all these people probably calling, just trying to get in here. It's the Unit, big Unit. Glavin did not have close to 3,000 strikeouts. He wasn't a strikeout guy, but he pitched such a long period of time. But yeah, CC Sabathia.